and welcome to GNN. My desk is missing. Does anybody? Nobody knows? Okay, you know what? The show must go on because I hear that, standing helps the cardiovascular system. Oh yeah, I'm going all medical on y'all, so I'm not even mad. Plus, look I have all this space now. I could do things that I had no, space to do. Oh yeah! Things like that. You weren't expecting that, were you? Okay, let me not get distracted though. Without further ado, how about some news? Not quite the same ring. Tithing. One way that we as Adventists show our faithfulness and stewardship. Well, that and those amazing patties that they share at potlucks. Seriously, I need the recipe for that. Now, as soon as we talk about tithing, we automatically think about money. But that was not the case for Mr. and Mrs. Mpofu, which what they did will amaze you. More from Noel Sibanda.
The feedback regarding the mission offering will not be complete without a moving testimony from one of our unions in the Southern Africa Indian Ocean Division, the Zimbabwe Central Union Conference. Touched by the mission offering video and the General Conference strategic plan of I Will Go, Mr. and Mrs. Mpofu decided to play their part by inviting the Zimbabwe Central Union Conference Stewardship Department to come and collect God's tithe in their small plot holding.
I will go.
What moved us as husband and wife to not just give our tithe, but also a bull as offering, is the current GC strategic plan of I Will Go. That challenged us very much because the Bible says everything belongs to God and we are just His stewards.
We're following the scriptures that there's great blessings in giving, and that touched our hearts so much because the Lord has been so good to us.
Of their 31 beasts, after giving their tithe, these faithful elderly people decided to give one big bull as God's mission offering, and the church members were humbled to say the least. Pastor Owen Ngube says what the church members are doing is a good example to all of us. Following this exciting offering, the other villagers gave moving testimonies that they too would like to give God a deserving offering. As we enter the new quinquennium, the church members are determined to finish God's work in our generation by giving not just a faithful tithe, but also a mission offering for the work of the Lord. And the Southern Africa Indian Ocean Division is leaving no stone unturned as they champion our strategic plan of I Will Go.
Thank you so much, Noel Sibanda, for that story on stewardship. Now, speaking of stewardship, did you know that the General Conference Stewardship Department actually has more information on a holistic approach to this whole idea of tithing and offering? You can visit them and get more information by going to stewardship.adventist.org for more information. Be sure to check it out because I'm sure you'll learn a thing or two or three or four or five. Sticking with our theme of giving, a group of young Adventist doctors in Zimbabwe have been going around relieving different sections of the health sector by giving them various things. Now, they recently went to Mpilo Hospital in Bulawayo and gave vital sign monitors and oxygen analyzers. Over to our correspondent, Unique. Oh yeah! I told you I could do that whenever I want. I got the space now. Over to you, Unique.
When there is a problem in our health sector, it's part of our mandate to make sure that we also play a part in being a solution. So we're just watching and complaining and doing whatever that people do when there is a problem. Our wish is that these monitors that are this equipment that is worth close to $15,000 can benefit the community, the Mpilo community, the southern region of Zimbabwe, and the Zimbabwean population at large.
A group of young, motivated and driven Adventist doctors who subscribe to the notion no mother should die whilst giving life, and the youths are not the future, they are now, under the Citus Latter Trust and Afrimom, handed over vital signs monitors and oxygen analyzers to representatives of Mpilo hospitals, with the Bulawayo deputy mayor present. Theirs is a calling to help save lives and make a difference. Unique Zimuto, GNN, Zimbabwe.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Give Jonah to the fish, well, that's brunch. For 3 days anyway. No? Okay. Well, our next story is coming from Kasungu Central Seventh-day Adventist Church in Malawi, where they held an entrepreneurship training program called Think Big. Now, it got me thinking, if there was a vehicle, let's say a car, and it had a child, let's say a son, and their son's name was Ben, I wonder what Ben Carson's would name it. You get it? Think big. Now, under the leadership of Pastor Dingani Mfune, this training happened between the 16th and the 22nd of May. This was to help young entrepreneurs and small businesses improve their businesses. If you want more on this, you can do so by going to our website, echo.sid.adventist.org. One thing that coronavirus has done is left people in search for hope. Now, some theology students from Musangu University in Zambia decided to hold a campaign called Hope Beyond Coronavirus. In this campaign, over 350 people were baptized in Kasempa and Mongu. And this kind of got me thinking, because it's kind of interesting how, at the end of the sermon, when the pastor is making a call, there's usually some big gesture that he asks from us. And as time happens, things change. Now, I don't know what your issues might be, but wherever you are, I know you might be feeling a need to give your life to Christ. So wherever you are, my brother, my sister, please just make your way to the front. If you want to give your life to Christ, just make your way to the front. I mean, I understand that some people might be shy, so if you want to stay there and just stand on your feet, my brother, my sister, you could stand on your feet. No? I mean, or you could raise your hand. You could raise your hand. In fact, how about we all close our eyes so that nobody sees y'all? Just close your eyes, raise the hand of your heart. Now, if you raise the hand of your heart, just make your way to the front. Just make the way to the front, my brother, my sister. Amen. Nobody? Okay. Now, on the 31st of May, it was World No Tobacco Day. So we here at GNN got in touch with a lady named Joyce, who's a public researcher for tobacco control. So, without further ado, please give a warm GNN welcome to Joyce. Miss Joyce, welcome to GNN, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here. And good morning.
Oh, we hype everyone up here. So yeah, we are very excited to have you here.
It's great.
Now,
yes,
for people who are seeing you for the first time, can you please explain to them a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Okay. Yes, as you've said, my name is Joyce Lindiwe Jagavula. I'm a member of the Tshwane East Seventh-day Adventist Church. Professionally, I'm a public health researcher focusing on tobacco control locally, but also in the project that I'm working on, we are supporting about 12 African countries. But our research also extends beyond our target countries. So what we do in our work project, we're basically supporting governments in these countries to protect their health policies against the interference from the tobacco industry. And we provide research to show the extent of tobacco control in these countries, what the tobacco use causes, like the diseases we know. And we also monitor their tactics. As we know, the tobacco industry targets mainly youth and Africa as a whole. They use a lot of strategies. In fact, recently on yesterday's news, we saw that they were even issuing vouchers with, at the kiosk where kids are able to buy single cigarettes. So those are the things. So we have a monitoring team checking what's been shared on the media. And also we train advocates locally and in other countries to counter the tobacco industry's efforts. So that is broadly what we're doing. We focus on within the WHO's FCTC, which is the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control. There are different articles, like different guidelines. So we do provide training on, how do you spot sponsorship and marketing, and how do you shun that, and also what is the best way to provide within Article 14 quit advice, strengthening our policies around banning smoking. Right now in South Africa, our bill is going to cabinet, and that bill promotes no smoking at all, because partial smoking is not effective. Where you have a smoking and a non-smoking section, it's like what we say, you have a swimming pool, and then in the swimming pool you have a rope just in the middle of the swimming pool, and you label this side, it's the wing side, and this one is the non-wing side, So there is no safe level for exposure to tobacco smoke. It doesn't matter. Any small particle is detrimental to health. So that's why I'm so passionate about this, because in Africa, if the current trends are allowed to continue, about 80% of Africans in low and middle income countries will be affected, and also will die from the preventable causes from tobacco use.
Okay,
so that's what I do on a daily basis.
That's incredible. And I heard you mention tobacco control, and you mentioned things like the coupons at the kiosk, which blew my mind. I had absolutely no idea. And you also talked about the line with the wing and non-wing side of the pool, never getting in that pool. But then with regards to tobacco control, what does that look like? Because I know here once COVID started, there was this whole ban on tobacco, and people lost their minds. So does tobacco control mean increasing the taxes, or does it mean absolutely no selling at all?
Well, it would be ideal to have a tobacco smoke-free world. I think that is the ultimate goal. That is everybody's desire. But realistically speaking, we are far from that. So in tobacco control, the tobacco control laws focus on protecting non-smokers from tobacco use. It could be through what we call second-hand smoking. The smoke that comes from the other user, or third-hand. When you have a smoker living in the house or in a hotel, and the smoke particles are still on the furniture or curtains. So that is the one, protecting non-smokers, and particularly children, in homes where parents smoke, or in the cars where kids do not have any say. It's not effective to just open the window. There's no safe level for exposure to tobacco smoke. So just opening the window and smoking is not safe. So one other thing we focus on in tobacco control is in South Africa, currently the law states that you may not smoke in a car with a child who's under 12 years old. We're looking to increase that age. But also we're appealing to people, because, no police is going to stop you and, ask you not to smoke.
Right.
But in creating public awareness, to appeal to the public to voluntarily make their homes and their cars smoke-free. And then again, it's raising taxes, as you have pointed out. As I've said earlier, the industry targets the younger users. And we have research that also shows that majority of the smokers are also struggling financially. So if you make tobacco more expensive, then usage decreases. And with that, we need, because taxes on products are per pack, but it is very common to see single stick cigarettes, right? So that needs to be stopped because that is totally illegal in all countries. Cigarettes are sold because legally, it is still a legal product. In fact, it's one legal product when used according to manufacturers' instructions will kill the user. Even when used according to the manufacturer's instruction.
It's such an interesting topic because there's a lot of laws and things that you're talking about. Smoking
yes,
in the car
so it's
that you don't. People,
yes.
Not everybody knows about. And one thing that I was also thinking about was, kind of growing up in the Adventist church, I naively thought, but how are these tobacco companies making money? Now, is that problem as rampant within the church as well? Like in terms of are there a lot of Adventists smoking? Because for me, it would be like if I was an Adventist going to churches and preaching, in my naive state of mind, I would have been like, but isn't that like telling people not to speak about don't eat meat at a vegetarian thing?
Yeah.
Are there a lot of
exactly.
meat eaters in this case?
Exactly, yeah, right. Sadly, as Adventists, we are not immune to use of such products. We know, in our churches, we've seen young people. You go to camps and you will collect cigarette butts.
Right.
And if you go to public places where young people gather and they don't see you, you might spot a few kids, from your own church. So the problem exists, although we don't know how prevalent it is. Every year we all, the WHO has this day, the World No Tobacco Day, as you pointed out, on the 31st of May, right? It's an event, it's seen as an event like Global Youth Day,
right.
World No Tobacco Day, right? But we want to encourage, especially the church, to not just, commemorate the event, but this needs to be part of our programs in church. How can people get involved? Firstly, is by being aware, about the different strategies that tobacco uses, right? It is scary. Right now, you can't even keep up with the new products the tobacco industry is introducing. Right. We have e-cigarettes, right? You see even competitions on e-cigarette. I've seen I think it's on Netflix, Broken, and about vaping. Even the term vaping is from... I was going to talk
about vaping and how there's a lot of kind of substitutes that are really not substitutes.
Yes. And so with the industry, they promote it as a it's harm reduction. They say, tobacco smoke kills, but here's a product that is a safer alternative, but safer in terms that, you don't get the effects from the tar, from the burning, but does not mean it's safe, right? And it still contains, many of those products still contain nicotine. We have the hubbly bubbly, so we need to educate our young people because that hubbly bubbly, the water pipe, that is cool in the parties, in most cases that has, not just nicotine, but a whole lot of other things. A cigarette has over 2,000 chemicals, that range from compounds found in your handy in your petrol, in whatever, and all that goes into your body. But even with the e-cigarette, cannabis is put in there, a whole lot of things are put in there. In South Africa, I would really encourage us to take up the work that was started in 1975, 76 by our own pastor, Dr. Dennis Bate. Bed, right? Can never say the surname properly. But we know him commonly as the founder of Meals on Wheels.
Right.
Yes, Meals on Wheels. He passed away in his late 90s, just a few years ago. But he also established what we today have as the National Council Against Smoking. And it is the National Council Against Smoking, which is the main advocacy organization supported by the Department of Health for Tobacco Control in South Africa. The current executive director, Dr. Yusuf Saluji, when he was interviewed a couple of years ago, I think it's in 2012, when the General Conference awarded Dr. Benisbed with a lifetime award for, making a difference in health, Dr. Saluji said, Dr. Bed is a pathfinder in tobacco control in South Africa. Before him, there was no one. Before him, there was a time when there was smoking everywhere in the aeroplanes. There was smoking in municipality buildings. And he is the one who was bothered by this,
right.
And decided to find out what is happening, because when he looked at cases, also finding from other healthcare professionals, they discovered that the South Africans are dying at a faster rate. The South African smokers are dying at a faster rate compared to other smokers around the world, right. And have more severe issues. And he suspected that the tobacco products probably have more deadly components. But, the industry, there was no law. Right now we have laws, a regulation of the contents in the tobacco products, except the new ones. So we're also fighting for regulations for the new ones. But with the industry is obliged to disclose. And at that time, they were not forced to disclose, but he took the products, he filled his suitcase, he went with the chairman, Dr. Harry Seftel, and they went to the US, to what we call now the CDC, with these products, which they got, at least from the industry, for the products to be tested. And it was found that really the products contained double the amount of nicotine, double the amount of tar, and a whole lot of things. So he is behind the fact that we can now go to the airport and sit in an aeroplane and no one smokes next to you. And,
one of our own is doing the things that need to be done.
One of our own.
Yes. Joyce, I'm so sorry to cut you off because we're unfortunately running out of time. But I'm sure there's a lot of people who want to get hold of you and talk a little more about it.
Yes.
Is there an email or a phone number that they can
yes. Yeah, so they can email me to Jakavula LJ, JAKAVULA, LJ, Jakavula LJ at gmail.com. And they can also send me a text or WhatsApp if I don't respond on my number 082-852-8649. And so I can, help people with contacts to contact the Quit line. Also, we can share resources on how do you support somebody else if they want to stop smoking, because believe it or not, most people who smoke actually want to stop. Until you hear those calls and those cries, not everyone who smokes is really enjoying it. So especially this year, the call is to get people to commit to quit, but for us to assist them. So those are my numbers. That's my email address. And then, I can link you to the Council Against Smoking. Right. For church members, we've got the Breathe Free 2 program, which was also launched. I can also help people who are struggling with the registration to just see how we can all get involved as a church and as a community.
Thank you so much. It's such an interesting topic to discuss, and people, you need to get in touch with us so that you could hear more about how one of our own changed the way that people are living health-wise. It's such an incredible story. So thank you very much for being a part of this and for allowing us to interview you. We really appreciate you. Well, there you have it, folks. Another installment of GNN. To hear and see more from us, you can do so by standing up wherever you are, my brother and my sister. Stand up, raise your hand, and just walk towards the studio. I don't know what news you've been hearing, but I got the good news here. Nope, nobody? Okay, well, then I guess you can also do so by visiting our website, echo.sid.adventist.org, or you can do so by writing us at echo@sid.adventist.org. From GNN, I am Tapio Mushoshi saying, I got nothing to say. I'm just saying my legs are tired. I'm not doing this again. I need a desk. I need my chair. I can't do this.